Dr. Joe Gallenberger is a clinical psychologist, author, and Monroe Residential trainer.
We will say that we took your course from the Monroe Institute online last year, MC Squared, manifesting with energy. You have some amazing abilities and talents.
And of course, where this is about global peace. And we have been talking a lot about energy and how connecting to this energy that we are in does manifest in peace and allows us to be our authentic selves and manifest that which we would like to manifest. So I'd like to open it to you. And
as you mentioned, I focus mostly in this area of manifestation, energy healing, psychokinesis, which is affecting matter with your mind. And we find in all of those, as we did that exploration over the last 20 plus years, that it required amazing energy to do these things consistently. And so that led me into looking at our nature. And I really think that we are designed to get energy in an unlimited quantity and exquisite quality directly from source. And so I was listening to the gentleman talking before me, and I think that's very much in line with this. And yet I feel like most of us don't tap that energy in unlimited quantities very easily or very well. And so we're energy starved. And when that happens, we tend to want to get energy from other people by getting their attention, which is often some manipulative way. We can be the good girl or the bad girl, the good boy, the bad boy. But money and power come into play, all kinds of ego operations. They're basically trying to get us the energy we're designed to hold. And that kind of ego-centered behavior challenges kindness and fairness. So what I've found is as you seek and form much greater connections directly with Source, as you're filled to overflowing, there's a natural ebullience to your compassion and wanting to share generously. The loving kindness grows and flowers within that environment much better than when we are energy starved. So that's point one I wanted to make tonight. I think in some ways, as long as we're energy starved, we will be looking for the good guy and the bad guy, and we'll be manipulated by and manipulate others through our egos. So it's not a question of killing ego, but more satisfying what ego really wants is to feel whole, connected, safe, immortal, those kind of things. And those knowings come from our connection with Source. So that said, I guess the first question might come up would be, what are some tips to get connected with Source? And so I use that word. Some people would say God, all it is, beauty of nature, grand engineer, many things. So if one has a prayer ritual that has worked well, if one has a meditation ritual, that can be a wonderful way. Because meditation, particularly I'm involved with technology-assisted meditations through Monroe Institute, where in 10 minutes rather than 20 years in an ashram, people are able to relax, detune, settle down, clear their mind, and then these connections with Source become more possible. But for some people, they'll connect through their grandchild smile, through pets, through the beauty of nature, beauty of music. It's a question of feeling one with all of that and opening up to receive. So it leads one to say, let's have an open heart. And when people say, well, how do I do that? Probably one of the easiest ways for most people is gratitude, because we can be grateful for every book we read, person we met, pet in our life, beauty places in nature, on and on and on. And as we move into gratitude, it creates a natural openness and a natural opening heart. So I'm going to stop there a minute before talking about manifestation specifically in relating to kindness and world peace, just to see if you have any reaction to that or questions. Why?
I'd like to say that thinking about being grateful is an incredibly fantastic practical tip. And we've had a lot of great practical tips. Gratefulness is something that I practice on a regular basis. And I think it does immediately connect you to a good feeling. It connects you to the heart. It's a really good way of connecting to the heart. A lot of people have difficulty loving themselves, and gratefulness is a way of maybe getting around that, because once you're grateful, you are connected to your heart.
Really, to do energy healing, psychokinesis, to bend the spoon or change the world, you have to feel one with it. The best way to feel that oneness is through gratitude, because it creates a humility in the true meaning of the word. I'm not better than you. We're in co-creation. We're in dominion with each other. There's no domination, those kind of things. And that allows a natural springing forth of fairness and other things that I think, and kindness that will be necessary for peace. And so, good. I'm glad you like that particular point. I guess through that, it takes me to my second thing in 20 minutes I want to say, is this is really not a mental thing. This is a thing of the heart. And that's why gratitude becomes important as well. So in the psychokinesis work and manifestation work, a lot of times people think they need to affect matter with their mind. From my point of view and my experience, the mind is like the steering wheel of a car. It sets direction for the intent, but the car goes nowhere without gas. And the best gas you can provide for that car is the energy of unconditional love. There's many reasons for that. A big reason is love doesn't have any opposite, but fear can cloud love and is responsible for a lot of the unfairness that goes on. But love can melt fear. And so one of my favorite sayings is, fear is expensive, love is priceless, choose wisely.
Like that.
And I constantly need to reapply that. I ended up with a tooth extraction 2 days ago that didn't go very well. 4 hours in the chair. They didn't get it all done. I had to go back the next day. And I noticed myself slipping into some fear and getting out of balance, and had to get back into love. And then that second day went much better. So on a practical, everyday, in the moment kind of way, but also as we look at how we would address the whole world. I have a meditation CD called, and download called Ocean Heart, to see your heart as a vast ocean of love. And from that place, you can feel strong and compassionate and not get overwhelmed by all the injustice that's in the world. So it's really, as we shift from fear to loving kindness, we're shifting out a survival program. Those are quieted and replaced by a thriving type of program. And I would like to point out, we dealt with making this whole society on survival of the fittest, Charles Darwin, but the most recent biological data indicates the prime directive of nature is for the good of all, because of all the genetic sharing among organisms. So we need to move the world into a new paradigm. And for the good of all is more in line with current science, current quantum physics, current biology, and would, I think, get us where we want to go in terms of this loving kindness and peace. In that heart series of meditations, I also have one called the Forgiving Art. And besides finding something that you would like to forgive in yourself or with another, after that work is done, you're invited to go to a place beyond polarity, where everything is in right order in the fullness of time. And in there is a deep peace, where we playfully create greater and greater justice, peace, and kindness on the planet. But we do it from a place of knowing all is in right order at one level of reality. And that, I think, will make this something that we can do and not get burned out or not get overwhelmed. So those are a few thoughts I have, and be glad to take your comments back.
The forgiveness, that's another
That's another one.
that's another practical. There's gratefulness, and then the flip side is really forgiveness. That's
Everybody either becomes your lover or your teacher, if
Yeah.
you will. If you apply both gratitude for the teachers and forgiveness, gratitude for the lovers, forgiveness for the teachers, if their lessons have been kind of uncomfortable. But the final point in forgiveness is you realize there's nothing to forgive, both within yourself or others. But that's at that higher level. And first you got to start where you do open your heart and you let go of the desire for revenge, justice, in the form of eye for an eye type of justice. And you deeply understand that lack of forgiveness just poisons everyone, including yourself. So I think that's another thing we need to emphasize as we go forward, because we can never, quote, make amends for genocide and all these things to a level where everybody feels the scale is balanced. You almost have to transcend that and do what you can, but then at one level energetically, you just let go and you move into the present moment and create paradise here in the present moment.
This is about making a choice. This is about being very conscious of what's happening to us, making a choice of being grateful for what we have, of forgiving and letting go of that which does not serve us. We have that ability, that intention to make that choice, to be able to guide us into the...
It's being answered. You've answered it.
But it is your birthright to fill yourself with overflowing with unlimited quantity and quality of energy. And from that place, you'll find kindness, forgiveness, happiness, humor, creativity. Everything goes easier. If you do this from an energy-starved position, boy, it's hard work. We can do amazing things if we put our minds together. Coherence of intention, it means we're all driving the car with the steering wheel in the same direction. But then we got to put all our gas in that tank, and the energy of unconditional love. There's nothing we cannot do here.
Thank you, Joe, for those wise words and those very practical tips.
Really
It's
appreciate
really useful. Thank you. Lovely to see
Pleasure
you.
to be on tonight.
Thank you.
Much peace to both of you and everyone listening.